It's automatically braking. It's automatically steering right now too. Today we have the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee L with the latest technology for driver assistance features. I'm going to give you a full run through of everything that you get on this Grand Cherokee. We'll get it out on the road, take it for a test drive so you can see things in action like lane centering, adaptive cruise control, things like that. And we'll even mess around with some settings on the inside so you are comfortable and know exactly what you get with this Grand Cherokee L. Let's get started. So first things first, up front, like most vehicles, Jeep's going to give you a full speed collision warning system with automatic emergency braking. There is a sensor right there and a camera up there, and they work together to give you automatic emergency braking if you need it. Another standard feature is the active lane management system. It's a lane keeping system to help keep you in your lane. It's going to use the same camera to detect the lanes on the road if they're in good condition, and it'll steer if needed to keep you in your lane. An advancement of that is lane centering, which is available on the upper trim levels, which I'll show you in a little bit, coupled with adaptive cruise control. So the lane centering is actually going to keep you centered in your lane when you're using your adaptive cruise control, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. The adaptive cruise control uses the sensor and the camera to keep a set distance between you and the vehicle in front of you, and this is probably what you're really going to want to see and how well this works in action in a little bit. Another thing you'll get is parking sensors for the front. So front parking sensors are not standard on every trim level. Those are on the optional on the limited and standard up from there, but you've got little sensors built into the front to give you parking sensors so you don't run into something. I'll show you that in a little bit too. In the back you'll find parking sensors as well. Now rear parking sensors are standard on every single trim level. Another thing standard on every trim level is the blind spot monitor. So there's built-in blind spot monitors in the mirror coupled with rear cross traffic detection. So it's going to use the sensors in the back to detect if a car is crossing your path while you're backing up, and it'll let you know on the screen in front of you. Another system you can get is the intersection collision assist system. So basically it prevents you from getting T-boned, which is a horrible accident. So if you're going into an intersection, it'll alert you if it detects a vehicle coming that you don't see, and if you don't take action, it can automatically brake if needed. Now before we dive into all these interior features and how to control them, one feature we don't have on our Overland model is the active park assist, where it will parallel and perpendicular park and help you get out of those spots as well. I have not been able to use it on this Jeep Grand Cherokee L, so I can't comment on it, but that's on the Summit models. Another thing on the Summit models that we don't have here is drowsy driver detection. So if it thinks that you are getting drowsy based off your driving behaviors, it's going to let you know that you should take a break. That's on the Summit models too. I'm going to drive right up to this fence and see how quickly it takes our parking sensors to activate, and then just give you an idea of what it looks like and what it sounds like as you start to approach something. So let's say you're pulling up to a car or something. It started showing me a little bit on this display, and now it's not showing me anymore. It might be having trouble because it's a fence, but there you go. So it shows you how close you are to it, and same thing with the back, and it can automatically brake if it needs to. All right, so another feature is rain sensing windshield wipers. So it doesn't say auto on the stock or anything, you just have to have it basically on in any of those positions. Now since I probably won't have any rain to actually demonstrate this, I'm just gonna squirt my water on the windshield. So if it hits that camera will sense it and it will automatically turn on. I'll do it again, and it didn't get it very well. There we go. So it'll automatically work, and I've had no problems with this kind of system in other vehicles. Another feature, you could maybe call it a safety feature, is this digital mirror camera. So this is still like a regular automatic dimming rearview mirror, but you can flip this and then you've got a legitimate camera right there. You can use these buttons to actually control like the height or the brightness and change it a little bit, but you can see clearly out the back, and this also works well at night. Speaking of cameras, let's look at the surround vision camera. So it's a 360-degree camera, which works great when you're backing out, parking. You can see the whole vehicle right here and the lines. You've got dynamic lines. You can change the view. You can see out the front. You can see out the back. You can change which camera you have. Just a wonderful camera. It's not quite as in-depth as some where you can see like right next to the wheel or zoom in on some spots, but it still works really well. Now I'm going to add this in there too as a little safety feature. It's the family camera, where you can have a camera on your kids in the back. So if you have kids in car seats, you'll understand how nice it is to be able to keep an eye on them. and you can zoom in on whatever chair you want. So check that out. I can watch my daughter in her car seat if she needs something, or if there's something going on, you can keep an eye on them at all times. All right, so now to mess around with most of the settings here, we'll go to vehicle, and then there's other settings that are not safety related that you can always change, like for example, your rain sensing wipers if you want those. But let's go to the safety and driving assistance. So check it out, automatic emergency braking. If you tap on that, you can turn it off. You can change the warning sensitivity even if it brakes for pedestrians, so you can customize that. The active driving assist, you can have it whether or not the steering wheel will vibrate when you start to leave your lane or not. And I've just kind of left these on the settings that they were. The active lane management, so lane keeping system, same kind of thing. You can determine how it alerts you and customize all of those settings. The night vision camera, which I'll show you in a little bit, is really cool. It uses infrared sensors to be able to check for pedestrians or animals about 100 yards out. The Park Sense is the parking sensor, so you can have it on warning only, or you can have it actually automatically brake if it thinks you're going to run into something. You can also change the volume on the front parking sensors, the rear parking sensors, even the blind spot alert. You can have it chime or just light up, or have that off too. The power steering is more of a comfort thing, not really a safety thing. If you want to quickly turn off your lane departure system, you can press that button, and that's going to turn your active lane management off. And then the parking sensors, if you want to turn your parking sensors off, you can press that. So if you're close to something and it's just beeping at you constantly, just press that and it'll turn it off. Now we'll get on the road in a second, but to operate your adaptive cruise control, everything is on this side. So the cruise control button is right here. Your set and resume or add or minus, or your plus or minus for your speed here and up above, resume there. You can quickly cancel it. This is your active driving assist for your lane centering. I'll show you that in a little bit. And then this is to get closer to the vehicle in front of you or spread the distance to the vehicle in front of you. And we'll go through that in just a sec. Okay, we're gonna try out the night vision camera. So right now I'm still in the vehicle, but we're gonna see if my microphone can reach. I'm gonna run out down straight in front of us to about the end of the headlights and see if we can still detect myself. So right now, obviously I'm pretty close to the vehicle walking out. I'm curious if it should have a little yellow box around me. Now I'm gonna kind of weave back and forth a little bit. The yellow following is infrared and thermographic sensors and cameras, so it should be able to detect me. All right, so my microphone started cutting out because I was far enough away, but basically I got up on the hill just above and beyond where the headlights can see. So kind of a real life scenario, if there's actually an animal quite a ways down the road, or a person or something that has some heat signatures, you know, I moved back and forth to see if it would lose me, and it seemed to do a pretty good job. So hopefully in real life situations, this would work and alert you if you're gonna hit something. Okay, another quick thing is this 10-inch head-up display, which is available on the Overland trim and higher. Now you can turn this off, but the reason I'm mentioning this is because you can have it set to just be pretty simple and just show your speed, or you can actually have it show your driver assist features like your lanes. You can even show the distance between the car in front of you for your adaptive cruise control and adjust it. So you can see all of that right up here on the head-up display, in addition to on your main digital gauge cluster. All right, it's time to get going on the driving portion, aka the demonstration portion. We're gonna get on the interstate first, check out the adaptive cruise, do some distances, the lane keeping. Then we'll get on a highway road. Oh crap, maybe we won't. Actually, we will get on the interstate. We've got some slow moving traffic, so we will, we'll see how it does in the slow moving traffic. Then we'll get on a different road where we can get a little more curvy and see how everything works. But like I showed you on the steering wheel, turn your cruise control on, then you can turn your active driving assist on, which is like your lane centering. Then you can set or cancel with these same buttons and change the speed or change the distance. I'm gonna have it on the closest distance possible to start with. I just set it for 55. We'll move it up. Got your blind spot monitor over there. Now I have it set for 65 miles an hour, and it's keeping the closest distance in front of me right here. It's telling me to hold on. And it's got a green steering wheel there. It's got a green steering wheel here to let you know that you are locked in on your lanes. Now it's orange because it was telling me to hold on. And it's not a hands-off system. This is level 2, hands on the wheel, eyes on the road type of system. But for those of you that do get distracted sometimes, it's gonna save your butt if you need to. You could be dumb and drive without your hands, but don't do it only whilst showing you how to do it. So after a while it'll tell you to hang on, and we'll see how it does going around corners. Now I'm gonna get over and then resume, and I'm gonna increase the distance here to 3 bars. So it's gonna spread me out from that car in front of me a little bit, and you can increase the distance even more. It's automatically braking, it's automatically steering right now too. So that's on the interstate. If you go to pass somebody, it does respond pretty quickly as well, but we'll get on another road here in a second and see how it does on some more corners. All right, so we're on another road right here, and it's locked in. Whoop, it took us around that corner, and it's orange steering wheel because it's telling me to hang on. So when I grab the wheel, it turns green, and it just does a good job. Now if I turn the active driving assist off, and if I start to, let's say, kind of veer to the left, it's gonna move me over just enough to keep me in the lane. So those of you that won't have the lane centering, you'll have the lane keeping system. Let me turn this back on, let the steering wheel kick in. It's got to register. There we go. Now it says it's locked in. The steering wheel is orange now because it wants me to hold on. So it doesn't have a very long threshold of telling you to hang on, which is good. Now it says place hands on the wheel. Another corner or small turn. There you go. Easy peasy. So, you know, you could, never mind, don't treat it like a hands-off system. You should always keep your hands on the wheel, always keep your eyes on the road. But I hope you got to enjoy that demonstration of this and understand some of these features. But let's go ahead and wrap things up. So with everything you've seen on this Grand Cherokee L, what do you think? Do you like all this driver assistance stuff? Do you completely hate this driver assistance stuff? This is the Overland, and we have some options and packages. So we have pretty much everything that you can get, but we don't have the autonomous parking, the parallel and perpendicular parking, but you can get that on the Summit model. So what do you guys think? I hope that you learned something. I hope you got an idea of what it's like to drive with this type of system. Just remember, you can always shut this stuff off if you want to. But thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more details on this Grand Cherokee L and a night video, be sure to look in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.